What's up, everybody? We're still kind of getting set, but we're right outside Notre Dame Stadium. So let's continue our pregame coverage here in South Bend. I'm Brendan Gulick along with Anthony Moeglin. It's finally here. The game we have been waiting for a very long time. The Ohio State Buckeyes and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in South Bend in a game that, there were times this year I wasn't sure if we were going to get here. And I think we've talked a number of times throughout the course of the week that I was really glad that Ohio State didn't have to open with Notre Dame this year. Things were not quite as easy at the beginning of the year for the Bucks. I am admittedly a little nervous if I'm an Ohio State fan coming in today. It feels like every national person other than Herb Street and Corso are picking the Buckeyes, or I should say Herbie and Corso picked the Irish, or I should say picked the Buckeyes. Everybody else has picked Notre Dame. So, it's a little nervy. It's a little nervy.
It's been a wild day. I've been here all day long, pretty much. I got here this morning and just kind of walking the parking lots, talking to different people. It's a different feel, really, for Ohio State fans today. It's less of what we felt in the past, where Ohio State fans knew they were going to dominate the game and went out and did that. I think everyone really has a sense that today's going to be a legit top 10 matchup between two legit teams. And that's not to say Ohio State doesn't have a chance to win or Notre Dame doesn't have a chance to win or Notre Dame's going to roll. I think this is going to be a very hard-fought game, competitive, back and forth, and frankly, exactly what you want to see from a number 6 versus a number 9 team. It's going to be awesome.
I said all week long, and as I get closer and closer to kickoff, I feel, it's more and more true for me. The game is literally going to come down to the line of scrimmage. And that happens so often in football, and I know like that phrasing gets thrown out there a lot that, it's going to come down to whoever controls the line of scrimmage. But in a day where you've got a really veteran quarterback with pretty good skill position guys against a team that is absolutely loaded at skill position spots, you got to be able to work in front of the sticks. You can't turn it over in critical areas. And both of these teams have shown a propensity early on to control the things they need.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it right. This game's won and lost. 10 guys going after each other, and really, it's kind of been the theme of college football today. If you've been watching some stuff today, like you think back to that Florida State Clemson game, Clemson had that thing in the bag until a busted protection up front, which led to a touchdown, which led to them losing the football game. So, you look at that, and you look at kind of across the landscape, and then today, what we've talked about all week long, the winner of today is going to win the line of scrimmage. If Notre Dame can win the line of scrimmage, it's going to be really tough for Ohio State to get it going in the back end. But if Ohio State wins the line of scrimmage, it's advantage Buckeyes, and then you're thinking blowout alert because Notre Dame cannot hang with what Ohio State has on the outside.
Yeah, agreed there for sure. When I think about Notre Dame today, my first and foremost thought is Audric Estime, not Sam Hartman. Am I okay to think that, or should I be more focused on Hartman?
No, I think you're dead right, because this Notre Dame team is going to go through Audric Estime. This is going to feel a lot like Ohio State fans. If Notre Dame starts getting rolling here, it's going to feel like a Michigan game that we've watched the last couple of years. But if it's advantage Ohio State, Sam Hartman's dropping back, JT is pinning his ears back, Jack Sawyer's pinning his ears back and getting after the quarterback, and that's when it's advantage Buckeyes big time. So if Notre Dame's hanging in this thing, it's because they're controlling the clock, they're running the football, and controlling the line of scrimmage.
It's a madhouse here. It's hard to tell because we're facing away from the stadium. Literally, the stadium is 100 feet off to this side of your screen. The tailgate lot is behind the camera, and it's exactly what you want college football to feel like. And did we get lucky with this or what? I mean, there's not a cloud in the sky. You always kind of hope when you play a game of this magnitude that weather is not going to be a negative factor. And so I think we just got really lucky with that part of it.
Not one cloud in the sky. It's been blue skies all day. The environment here has been incredible. I saw something earlier today on X that they're projecting 60-40 Notre Dame to Ohio State. So it sounds like the Buckeye Nation travel pretty darn well, which is going to be exciting. I mean, the atmosphere inside this place is going to be rocking. The weather's perfect. It's just going to be. I mean, it's as good as it gets.
You know what that means? No excuses.
No excuses.
Right? There's a buzz in the air here. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know these guys are going to be ready. I want to throw one more thing out there that I've heard a lot in the lead up to this game, and it has to do with the Sam Hartman versus Kyle McCord thing. Obviously, in a few hours, we're going to look back on this, right? But I've heard a lot of, well, this is Sam Hartman's 50th start, and Kyle McCord it's his fifth start, and that he's thrown almost as many total passes as Sam Hartman's thrown touchdowns in his career to kind of show the disparity between the two. And I guess that's fun to talk about, but I don't know. I got a lot of faith in Kyle to go out and ball today. I really think he's going to do it.
It's a big day. And really, when you're taking over the Ohio State quarterback job, it's days like today that spring you in. You talk about some of the greats, some of the legendary Ohio State quarterbacks. They have those signature wins. Could today be Kyle McCord's statement? Could today kick off, a potential Heisman run for Kyle McCord? You never know. But it starts today. It could go one of two ways. If he comes out and does his thing today and plays really well, I think we're going to start talking about Kyle McCord in a different way.
I can't wait. These are the kinds of days that, in my opinion, are probably going to become a little more few and far between in the college football landscape. You're just not going to see a lot of this anymore. It's disappointing that the sport is changing a little bit like that. Maybe some of those games get pushed to the end of the season because of the playoff, but I'm not sure there's going to be a ton of reason with a 12-team playoff for teams to schedule games like this, because if you're pretty clearly one of the top 12 teams in the country, you're going to get in, right?
Or on the flip side of that coin, does it allow teams to do more of these? Which you'd hope so.
I think you're right.
I think you're right. I think you're going to end up being right. But my holding on to the fact that maybe you get more of these, because now one loss doesn't derail your season. Maybe now it's a couple more, and you still can sneak in with one loss or two losses. We'll see how that shakes out in the future. But this is, you can see the smile on my face. I mean, this is football at its finest.
There are obviously some big games on Ohio State's future schedule, right? You got home and homes with Georgia, with Alabama, with Texas. You had one with Oregon before Oregon and Washington joined the Big Ten, so that'll become a conference game now. But next year, there are no marquee matchups outside of conference play for the Buckeyes. So enjoy today as much as you can, because this is going to be a really fun game. And if you're here, you either spent a pretty penny on a ticket or somebody did it for you, because this is becoming one of the most expensive tickets in the history of college
football. More expensive than a national championship game.
Substantially.
It's crazy.
Like 4 times over. Unreal. Well, we got a boatload of coverage for you. BuckeyesNow.com, all the latest news and info. We'll have highlights posted throughout the game when those are appropriate. We'll have plenty of analysis post-game. I'll give you a heads up here. The plan is for us to go live post-game just like this to talk about it. There are some different rules and regulations here at Notre Dame than there are at a lot of other places we've been. So it might take a little bit longer for us to be able to go live. But don't worry, we will certainly have some post-game coverage for you somewhere here in South Bend, even if it's not in the press box. Maybe we'll be somewhere on campus. We'll find a background. Maybe Touchdown Jesus will be decorated in scarlet and gray later. I doubt it, but you never know. Should be fun. Enjoy the game. We predicted the other day that Ohio State's going to hang on and pull this one out, so we'll see if that turns out to be the case. But in the meantime, remember to check out BuckeyesNow.com for all the latest. For Anthony Moeglin, I'm Brendan Gulick. See you in a little bit. Go Bucks.